I say, whoa, now, there. It's your boy, the Toothless Wonder, back with another video. Whoa. Um, I'm just going to kick it off. Uh, and this is just my perception, right? I grew up in a very isolated, geographically isolated place. A small town. My neighbors were related to each other. I don't even, it's a town, but ain't a whole lot. We had like two corner stores, and that was about it. Um, my neighbors were related to me because they all built houses on the land that my grandmother ended up owning through working, farming for the white man, whatever, whatever. Then there was like a white family across the road, not a street, the road that kind of sat back. So if I come out to the end of my driveway and they come out on their front step, I can see the people, but I can't make out their face. Um, so coming up and then starting to go to school in town, which was a small town, but I was always fascinated by just people and like how they behave, how I seen them move, and I was like, wow, you know what I mean. And I'm gonna preface all this to the actual topic of the video, right? I found human, and I kind of felt like outside of it, like certain ways people did things just never made any sense to me. Case in point, like when I started going to school in town, I could see these social groupings, and from the outside looking in, I could just tell it's not genuine, it's not valid. Like they're just cutting into this person for an ulterior motive. You know what I'm saying? That's why it never appealed to me to group up socially. However, um, the attachments or the connections I made rather were interpersonal with just various individuals. And here's the common trait: because I perceived the people to be who they presented themselves to be. This is authentically them, whether they like making paper airplanes or even dudes I met in the street or were engaged in street activities. They might have did what they did, but if they weren't doing that, they'd still carry it the same way, or they would still behave, operate, so on and so forth, right? Um, and I'm saying all this to say this, as you know, I've gone on this like sobriety journey, and I've noticed um, this instinct to like withdraw from people because I don't find it fulfilling. For the purposes of, like I said, previously, that I believe everyone has a mask on, or whatever, whatever. And I pride myself on being me. No matter where you might have met me at, you still meet the same version of me. Job, school, when I used to get locked up, streets, um, church. I don't change who I am or adapt a different personality or identity based on the environment I'm in. And I think that's one thing that separates me from most. Um, I take me everywhere. Um, I don't know how to do that, and it wouldn't even be. I'd be bad at it even if I tried. But here's what I'm kind of beating around the bush. But here's what I'm getting into, right? And this is I guess in the scientific terms, this is an educated uh synopsis socially, right? Because even though I'm not very social, and I'm not social because I'm antisocial. I'm not social because I don't meet a lot of people who I desire to be social with. Whether it's narcissism, whether it's an inflated ego, whether it's the victimhood mentality, whether it's, whatever. I just desire not to be around that. And I don't see a lot of people attempting to overcome. Now, they may talk it, but I don't see it in action. Or I don't see them like, just this energy of, I'm going through this, or I want to learn, or I want to heal, because healing is hard work. Let's be totally honest. And not only is it hard work in and of itself, you don't get any kind of accolades for doing internal work. It's only down the road, and I can speak on this, it's only down the road when you're around people that they may pick up or give you compliments on your energy, your attitude, your disposition, how you treat others. That's, certain markings of a healed individual or someone in the process of healing and seeing some gains, for lack of a better word, and then wants to continue on the process. right? I truly believe that the average woman you run into, if she's has a modern mindset, whether it's she's a feminist, whether it's I don't know, she's into social media, just in like the average woman you come across, which is most of them, are destroyed, and they know it not, and they will be of no benefit to you being attached to them. That's deep. That's deep. And here's why I say this. Maybe years back, and I've seen the world transform a couple times. The 40 some years I've been on Earth, um, you used to be able to tell the difference between people. And I guess the word talks about the wheat and the tares and them being grown up amongst each other, right? And then as we see now, I believe what's happening is now the separation. Um, you can't, like, if someone goes to church, or we keep it to women, and you can interject men as well. If a man woman goes to church, right, a typical regular church, especially if it's one of them great big mainstream joints, if they didn't tell you, you couldn't tell they go to church. You see what I'm saying? There's no difference behaviorally or mentality wise between, let's say, a woman who is engaged in prostitution, whatever form, whether it's on the street, OnlyFans, online, whatever, and the typical woman who's in a relationship. They have the same talking points. They dress the same. They have the same attitude. They give off the same energy. And I understand women are more inclined to go along with popular society. Men typically go rogue or go off on their own path. But let's say a woman who was trending in that direction, you should be able to tell. And here's why. Because there should be something different from her than from the vast majority of women you see everywhere else. But you can't tell. Typically, a police officer wears a uniform. So if someone approaches me with a police officer uniform on, I'm going to assume they're a police officer. Maybe upon further inspection, I can see the badge is fake or whatever. But just from a distance, you would think it's a police officer. There's no differentiation. I don't know if I said that right. And that's the main point I'm getting to. There's no difference. Let's say, okay, so what would be some telltale signs? If you have a woman, and even if she does all these things, she's still getting hit with the same psychological programming. She just may be adept to being led out of it, or looking, you know what I mean, or on her ascension phase, or coming out of the proverbial matrix, right? One, dress. I just saw a video last night. There was a black woman and a white army dude. And, I think we've all probably seen it, where he was like, how much you trust each other, switch phones, right? Now, the black woman who was married to the white dude that was in the army, she had on like an all-white outfit. And she was chocolatey joint, you know what I mean? All-white outfit, and, like, I don't even know what you call these shirts, but her breasts were accentuated. I already knew what time it was. Here's one. How can you be married and still present yourself as that? Now they'll go into all this, whatever. Oh, you're controlling, da. But you're dressing like that for attention. Now, if you don't like it, oh, no, they try to holler at me, whatever. But if you're attracted to the man, you'll give him some rhythm. Hence the reason you're dressed like that. Women would have you believe like they're naive and whatever. I think it was on a movie. Women are smarter than you think. They're just not as smart as they think they are. And, we have to be very careful with this one. The substance of conversation. Because now, spiritually, it seems like everyone's being very good at playing the chameleon, or presenting the version of themselves that they think you want to see. But again, after a period of time, you still have to, like, your true you will come out in whatever situation. But again, there's no differentiate. Even if you're having a conversation, or what, they have a different energy or vibration. The substance of their conversation is more than the superficial or the material. when they have deeper intellectual pursuits or desires outside of the mainstream norms. Oh, I've always wanted to, learn how to cook vegan, or I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But there has to be something that's like with me, right? And I know this for all the few people that I do deal with interpersonally. They're all generally them. They've all broken off from the pack. And there's something different about them. And let's say, because I'm like into that whole SHTF stuff, like ultimately I think every man would desire a woman, for the long haul, right? An investment, if you will. Now, there's the scripture, I think it's Isaiah 4:1, I believe, where it talks about 7 women clinging to 1 man. Here's my take on that. And I get it, out of circumstance. But is it genuine? Because see, here's the thing. Most women are the way they are because there's no consequence for bad behavior. It's actually the opposite. It's actually incentivized. She has multiple, as far as I know, women having multiple kids by multiple men only exists here in America, where they can financially incentivize to do so, or the negative consequence for the action is alleviated. You see what I'm saying? Now, if a woman she'd be out in the street because no man would want her, but the state takes care of her. You see what I'm saying? They use the state as a hustle. The state is their man. Hence, the reason why it's hard to get submission out of a woman, because the state will always take care of me until the state doesn't. And now we have a grouping of women who no longer or have no track record of being beneficial to a man's life, being in tune with a man, because her survival here in America isn't predicated on that. Like I told my daughter mother one time, I'm like, how you be around someone and have no clue who they are? I don't need to know who they are, because my survival isn't predicated on me knowing my man, being in sync with him. Plus, the whole promiscuity thing and so on and so forth makes it harder, psychological pair bond. I believe these women are destroyed. Not saying then they can see the error of their ways and repent, but I would still question that, because they're still filled with that haughty spirit, or the spirit of rebellion, which is likened unto witchcraft. And here's it, like a lot of them are very attractive. You know what I mean? Like when I look at the Hispanic population, right? I envy them, to be honest with you. And we can't say, oh, it's because, whatever. Like, I've heard personal stories where they, walked here or lived 20 in a house or whatever. But now granted, at the same time, maybe they haven't gone through the societal or the psychological or like the programming we have here in America. So they still know their culture. They still stick together. If you see a grouping of Hispanics, you really don't have to worry about, because there's order, code of conduct. Like, what is his home? Are they trying to creep, or, you know what I'm saying? That's only as far as I know. Well, here in America, and in the black community, where you'll be in a social grouping, and unbeknownst to you, somebody be plotting on your wife, or she might not even be attracted to your homeboy, but because she knows your homeboy don't stick no code, and she don't like something you did or said or whatever, she'll do that just to hurt you. And it's not like her reputation is going to take a hit. I mean, how many times have you heard of, like, yo, that's a good woman right there, yo? They're all the same. I can't even, like, as far as the black community, when is the last time we've actually seen a good woman? Or, you know what I mean? Like, as far as I know, all of them cheat. Now, they'll talk all that yang, but all of them cheat. All of them entertain other dudes because they can. And the man's kind of neutered to a degree, because if he break off, she can say, oh, it's your fault, put false charges on you. And then you got to start over or dig your way out. So I guess in that respect, it is cheaper to keep it. But and I understand the the talking point of recreational use only. But for me, I'm not the casual guy. Yeah, I can hit you, but it just opens me up for too much liability. So, and I really don't want to hit nobody that I don't enjoy being around. Mostly what I don't enjoy being around energy wise, characteristically. They're full of demons for the most part, or they just have a mindset that isn't conducive to where I'm trying to go with life, so you can't come. Um, that's about it though, man. They finish and they done. This is just yet another aspect of society that we're forced to deal with and accept. I'ma holla at y'all. Whoa!